We can find it. There it is, and we can talk over it.
Yeah, there you see the
Is
beautiful
that-
animation of the gun.
Is that streaming now?
Yes, that is streaming now.
On it.
So yeah, there's this cuts between what it used to be and then from the actual demo, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This being the opening room, like
Mm.
back in maybe February or even March, maybe.
Yeah, then when his introduction was quite different
Yeah.
as well.
But it's just look at how look at the difference.
Mm.
Yeah.
And is
Someone
it-
is like, you made this on PlayStation 2 first.
That's the real secret.
Yes.
We've actually been working on this game for like 12 years.
But you can
That's
actually
not true.
see
It's,
the problems with the gun, for instance. Like, first off, it kind of floated next to Jesse.
That was
like
so annoying. That was there for like probably, I don't know, 8 months at least.
Yeah, it's
And not like character model completely not done. But literally this is what you're working with.
yeah.
And this is what it looks like, and you have to kind of imagine like and trust
Mm.
that it's gonna look like this
Yes,
by the time
exactly. Yeah,
we
that's the
ship.
that's the tough part. But then, of course, after you've done games for a while, I don't know how it's gonna go.
I was like, I can't remember when Elmeri made this, probably like late May, but it was like, hey, like just look at the amount of progress we've made in a couple of months. Like
Yeah.
it's just so easy to forget like
Mm.
how things look. This being the room with trench and
Yes. Yeah, and initially there was no trench. Like,
Yeah.
there was this idea of how the presence moment would look and feel like,
Yeah.
how he appeared to you. And that's actually by Elmeri as well, how all of this came together, the
Mhm.
footage of McCaffrey and layered on top and getting this kind of a three-dimensional feel to it, so it belongs to that space, but not really. That was blowing.
And this was one thing that came in late, that there's this sort of his
The
smear
graph
effect
effects,
on,
yeah.
on like, and I kind of grown to like it as very plain because it really kind of shows
Yeah.
the transforming. But and you can see it here, and I'm like, should we have less of that?
Yeah, but it's it adds an interesting layer of complexity to the visuals without breaking them down, and
This is actually the layout of the room is really different.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But it's just
It's a good visualization of what, like a lot of placeholder assets, placeholder model of Jesse, placeholder animations. Like somebody just put something together quickly, so
Yeah.
that we have a sandbox that we can play in, right? Like we start to see what the experience is,
yeah.
allowing us to then pick our battles. What do we need to improve and so on.
But it's literally not even months. It's not even weeks. It can be days when the change is massive. When
Exactly.
suddenly
Yeah.
people submit final lighting and everything, and it's just staggering how much like changes.
Yeah.
Um,
I need to mention about the fire breaks. So to my understanding, fire breaks are an actual concept of how people stop fires from spreading within larger
Right.
buildings. And this was an idea that I think came from Stuart McNaught, who was
Yeah.
the the well-designed director type of a person. And we wanted to do a version of that, like, okay, let's replace fire with the idea of supernatural energies. What would the fire break look like for that? And that's where the idea came. That's what the sort of animation looks
and the
like.
amount of stuff there, like you have your particles, you have your
Yeah.
lighting and your animation and all of these things.
Yeah, and this is a good example of like when you shoot at the thing, it often starts off looking horrible, and
Yeah.
only after you get the animations, the effects, even that funk sound that you hear when things hit, it just makes all the difference. That's that last 10.
Man, there was a lot of different kind of because we played through the demo so many times, and this changed quite a lot too. Like this was the sort of big set piece moment, like the game kind of going crazy and like planting the idea of like, okay, like this game is doing things I wasn't expecting. And
Yes. Yeah, it was important at this moment that there's a surprise on,
Yeah.
on how this opposite power can affect them and so on. But yes, this whole moment initially was actually quite a bit different. And only after we got the TV in, we start to bring in the spiral idea that you see repeated often, and that's a good example of how one thing leads to another, and then we want to follow through the entire experience, that there's connections, like what the TV looks like and what it does versus what it does to the environment.
There's another thing where this is not really a boss fight. I think the flow here is probably already different in what we'll ship with, but because I remember, like, I was like, well, if people write that, oh, there's a boss fight, because as a boss fight, it's not exactly mind-blowing, like, and it's not a boss, like, you're gonna fight that type of enemy.
Yeah, it's a basic enemy that basically it is a specific person in this instance who has become this thing.